Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, Fallout 76's Christmas holiday patch has dropped today, and there's some good stuff in here. There's a lot of holiday-themed fun stuff being added, along with a handful of solid bug fixes that I'm sure many of us will be happy to see. So, let's take a look, shall we? So, patch 16. Highlights. Holiday Scorched. Ho ho ho, Santatron is here. More privacy for private worlds, much requested. Nuclear Winter map voting, and holiday challenges for Nuclear Winter as well. So we're looking at 8 gig for consoles, not a humongous one, sorry people on consoles, and just under 3 for PC. So, straight in with the general updates. Celebrate the holidays with the Scorched. I can see a lot of ways in which this is going to go horribly wrong. Definitely a party crasher vibe going on there. So, starting December 12th, which is Thursday, some of the Scorched will be spreading merriment this holiday season by dressing up in their most festive attire and wrapping presents. Just a little inconsistent with their personality, but okay. Should be fun. Take down these holiday Scorched and they will drop holiday gifts for you to unwrap. Open a holiday gift to see what the Scorched have given you, which may be anything from crafting components to aid items and even rare plans. So I'm hoping the building plans in here and possibly some cool outfits as well. That'd be very, very nice. But still no more details on that. I think they want to keep it as a surprise, which is, I suppose, in keeping with the theme. But there we go. So they can be low, medium, or high quality, and the higher quality of the gift, the better chance for rare loot, as one would expect. You can also craft your own holiday gifts, which I'm still not 100% sure how this is actually going to work, but you can check in with your favourite vendors around Appalachia during the Holiday Scorched event, because they're selling wrapping paper that you can use to craft your own holiday gifts. And then you give those to other players. I got the impression from the blog post on Thursday that the wrapping paper was going to drop from Scorched. Maybe that's still the case, but it looks like you can buy it from vendors. It might be both, or it might just be a vendor thing. But not quite sure how it works. I'd imagine it will be tied to the Tinker's workbench, and you just take a crafted item and wrap it, or possibly even just any item you've got. Maybe it would be interesting to see, and then gift it to people. So the holiday event is running from Thursday, it's December 12th, 11 AM Eastern Time, right through to Boxing Day, which is, just over 2 weeks? Yikes, way too close already. At 12 PM Eastern Time, so that'll be, around about 4 PM GMT through to about 5 PM GMT on Boxing Day. Tying into that, we have some new Atomic Shop stuff, which is running through until the end of the year. Bring a little holiday cheer to your camp by unlocking a free Santatron Collectron station in the Atomic Shop. So basically, it's the same as the existing Collectron station and uses the same slot, but is a kind of a reskin that will focus on different type of items. So build the Santatron station in your camp, and your jolly Santatron bot will wander the nearby area to look for toys, candy, and other items for you. While the Holiday Scorched event mentioned above is active, the Santatron will also occasionally find a holiday gift of random quality. Any items the Santatron finds will be placed in the container attached to its station, so you can collect them from there, so much like the scrap works on the regular Collectron station. Players who also own a Scavenger Collectron station can switch their Santatron to hunt for the items the Scavenger bot normally finds, and vice versa. However, only one type of Collectron station can be built at a given time. You'll still be able to build and use your Santatron station even after it's left the Atomic Shop, so be sure to claim it before the end of the year. So from the look of this, if you've already got a Collectron station, you just head over to the build menu in your camp, select it, and swap it out the same way you would do with a wall or any other item like that, and turn it into a Santatron station. And then it'll be focused on holiday gifts, so mostly it'll be toys and candy and things like that, rather than regular scrap. To be fair, you can scrap toys for quite useful components, so not a bad call, really. And it will also find holiday gifts. For those who don't have the regular scavenger station, from the look of it, it will only find the holiday gifts and the toys, but once the event ends, you'll stop getting the gifts. You'll still be able to collect the toys from the look of it, but not anything else. So it'll be a more limited scope Collectron station, effectively, with a Santa theme still. So if you're not particularly bothered about it, you like it as just a fun thing to have around, it's cool, but it's sort of more limited in scope than the regular Collectron station, which is kind of what you'd expect given that they're giving it out for free. Whereas the regular one, as we well know, requires a payment of atoms. So, New changes to challenges. This is a really cool change. Unfortunately, not taking effect until 1st of January. Guess that's just to let the holiday stuff get out of the way first. Maybe they need a little time to fix it, or sort it rather. But exactly why they're mentioning it now, if it's not coming until the start of the new year, I'm not entirely sure. Probably because it will take effect between patches, would be my guess. But in response to community feedback, which I think has been a thing since very early on, to be fair in this case, we have revisited many of our existing challenges in order to make them more player-friendly. Quite sure what that means, but okay. And remove others that had too many requirements. So in short, they should be easier to complete. Particular focus being daily and weekly challenges updated so that they're more straightforward, simpler to complete, and to help them feel more like part of the core experience of the game. As I say, 1st of January for those. So yeah, it should make challenges more doable, less drawn out, and less of a drag to complete, which is one of the reasons I don't do them very often. Hopefully that'll include some of the Pioneer Scouts challenges, because some of them are a little overtly long. I hope rather than removing them outright, they've just shortened some of the more daft ones, because there's some good stuff in some of them, but it's just too much. So hopefully they've got a right balance there, but either way, challenges should be much more doable, much more manageable. And yeah, more fun as a result, hopefully. So that's a welcome change. Taking them a while to implement that. I think they were probably hoping people would warm up to the idea rather than cutting them down. But yeah, okay. Good to see that change. So, sound. New holiday tunes added that will play during the Atomic Shop or in the Atomic Shop. Nice to hear. I'm sure most people will be fine with that. For those of us who are making YouTube videos and the like, probably worth noting that that will likely be copyrighted music, as all Atomic Shop music so far has been, so make sure you're muting that audio if you're making YouTube videos. But yeah, cool, fun new tunes. Pity they're not doing it on the main menu. Would be welcome to see a little bit of a holiday vibe there as well, but they have not so long changed it back to the original music, so keeping it fresh. And a couple of changes to the UI. This is where the big one for those who are Fallout First members are interested in. Private Worlds. Following community feedback, we've added a new button to Private Worlds mode on the play screen so that Private World owners have more choice on how friends can join their world. A button can now be toggled between Team Only and All Friends. And when on Team Only is enabled, only Private World owner and players that are already in their group can enter the Private World. If you have it on All Friends, anybody on your friends list can enter. So this is a change from the way it was initially set up that had a little bit of a backlash. It was anybody on your friends list can join your private world. It was just the default. That's still a thing that you can have if you choose to. If not, switch it to team only, then only the people in your group will be able to join you, or if you're on your own, just you. So you've got that full solo experience that people have been hankering for. God knows why, it's a multiplayer game. But there we go, it's there. As I said last Thursday, I suspect the reasoning behind allowing all friends in the first place was probably that people on your friends list are probably people you're happy to play with. So, and if you're not, you can remove them from your friends list. So, why people would object to that probably didn't even occur to them, but okay. They have done, and they've added this much requested feature, and they've done it in a really good way, I think, by allowing people to have their cake and eat it, I suppose. You can do it both ways now, so that's a good approach to making that adjustment, I think. And last but not least on this little one, it is no longer possible to transfer items into a dead enemy's inventory. Not a major change, but it means you can't accidentally drop things onto a corpse and then wonder where the hell it's gone. Not quite sure if they're trying to fix something else with this, but either way, there we go, it is what it is. So, Nuclear Winter. A couple of cool updates here. A little bit of a unfortunate undercurrent, but it is what it is. As we are well aware, the player base for Nuclear Winter has declined a little bit since its initial launch. It's not surprising, that's happened to every BR on the market. But it came as a bit of a surprise and an unexpected thing for Fallout. I'm not surprised it's happened a bit quicker. They are compensating for that by allowing more player choice and focusing it in a way that will hopefully not divide queues too much. So, first things first, vote for a map of your choice. After receiving requests from overseer candidates who would like more choice in map selection, we've added Flatwoods map back into Nuclear Winter, and candidates can now vote for the map they want to play on during the upcoming match. Map voting begins at the start of each match while candidates are in Vault 51. Once voting starts, you can press the map button to open a new voting interface and make your choice. Vote cannot be changed after it's been cast. Makes sense. The map that receives the majority of votes will be selected for that match. In the event of a tie, it will be random. Fair enough, that's fine. as I say, the problem with adding map selection in is it splits the queue, and with already limited player numbers, that's just going to cause even more empty games, particularly on whichever map ends up being the least popular. Giving a voting system means there's more variety coming in, especially having that little random element if there is a tie. Not that I think that'll crop up very often. So you get a little bit more variation, you get to play both maps, and you get to kind of say what you prefer. I don't know how much impact it'll be on people who prefer whatever ends up being the least popular map, but variety is the spice of life, and this way we don't end up with split queues, so good solution. So, also in Nuclear Winter, Halloween-themed challenges are coming back for a few days, as Bethesda promised. So, for some weird reason, the Halloween-themed event the first time around ended up ending early, which caused a few complaints, which is understandable, and they brought it back for a few days so that you can pick up where you left off and finish those challenges if you'd like to. If you haven't done it at all, and you would like to grab the Halloween rewards, you've got limited time, so crack on, but the option is there again. So the gist of it is the Nightmare Preceding Christmas, which is the return of the Halloween-themed Nuclear Winter Challenges, which will be coming back tomorrow. That's 11th of December, 7 PM Eastern Time, which will be, around about midnight over here, so technically Thursday morning in the UK. And ending on Monday at 7 PM in the US, on the East Coast anyway, and therefore Tuesday morning over here. So the gist of it, all 6 challenges and the cosmetic rewards will be available at once, whereas last time they were a staggered launch. And you can pick up right where you left off, as we said before. So that's, 5 days to finish off your challenges if you so desire. And following that, we get into the Christmas holiday themed event. So, unlock festive cosmetics with 6 new Christmas challenges. We've added 6 new challenges and themed cosmetic rewards for the holiday season that will begin appearing in the character challenge menu next week. It's a lot of a mouthful, that sentence. 1 new challenge will appear each day until all 6 are available, so they'll be phasing in over the first 6 days. However, and this is a key point, before you can begin earning rewards towards any given challenge, you must first complete the challenges preceding it in order. So you've got to work through the challenges in the order they're released, presumably. Wouldn't make sense for anything else to be the case. So, challenge 1 got to be completed before you move on to challenge 2. Rewards include wrapped presents for your camp, which I'm guessing are cosmetic items, decoration items. So that's actually kind of worthwhile jumping in for, because the number of decoration items we've got are a little limited, so it's a good option to get a few more. Always good. Wrapping paper hunting rifle paint. Little absurd, but fun. Snowflake metal armor skin. So that'll be an interesting one if you want a snowflake painted metal armor. Can't really imagine why you would. Metal armor becomes obsolete very, very quickly, in my opinion, so... I mean, I know it has higher ballistic resistance than some of the other armors, but still, it does get kind of eclipsed as you get to a somewhat higher level. But if you happen to be going for a certain look and want to give it a Christmas theme for a few days, why not? New outfit in there as well, which I'm guessing will be a Santa suit of some kind. And more items as well. This will be starting Tuesday at 7 PM in the US, so first thing Wednesday morning for us in the UK, and ending on January the 6th. So after Christmas at 7 PM, so midnight on the morning of the 7th, I suppose, for those of us in the UK. So yeah, that's basically, as soon as the Halloween event themes, it will switch straight into the Christmas one. So there we go. And as a little bit of extra fun, Zax is decorating the vault in keeping with the holiday season. So we'll expect Christmas decorations to be popping up around Vault 51 as well, which is cool. Always fun to see. So matchmaking changes, which tie into the map selection thing. Obviously, as we said before, player numbers are declining a little bit in Nuclear Winter. It's a bit unfortunate. This is now being compensated for to increase the action in a game and also speed the thing up a little bit as well, which is not a bad thing. It should mean less time in menus and less time waiting for matches to start, more time actually playing. At least that's the theory. We've updated Nuclear Winter so that Storm will now automatically constrict the starting area to account for the number of players that begin a match. When this occurs, the Storm will not deal increased damage at the start of a match, even though the playable area is smaller. So obviously as the match goes on and the player area gets smaller, the Storm's doing more damage. This won't be the case at the start. This will help encourage combat from the beginning of a match and reduce time spent hunting for other candidates. It will also make for a quicker match overall, so that you can re-queue to find a better match. But yeah, increasing the speed of the cycle. We make these changes so that players can spend more time on the battlefield, less time in the matchmaking queue, and get to the fun more quickly in cases where creating a full match may take longer than expected. Okay, so I have mixed feelings on that point. Getting into matches quicker, getting things going quicker is always a welcome change. On the other hand, how quickly is this storm going to start constricting? Does this mean it's just going to start straight away? Or does it mean it will start smaller? So if you've selected an area outside of it, does that mean you'll spawn in the storm? That we're kind of stuck. So I'm just hoping that it'll spawn you in and then just start constricting immediately. I'm hoping that's the way they've gone, but we'll have to see when we actually jump in and play a game. Or when you guys do, because you're probably going to beat me to it, if I'm honest. Although it would be nice to play a few games, so I might have to do that between now and Christmas as well. Watch this space, we'll see what happens. And a little change to the UI. Tutorials. New tutorial entries added to terminals in Vault 51 that offer instructions for the choose your perks, color-coded item rarity, and map voting features. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the ins and outs for choosing your perks, and hopefully overseer cards that allow you to swap out dud perks as well, you can now pick those up on terminals and get a few more details while you're waiting for a game to start. That's probably a sensible little addition for those who want more details, particularly those who are less frequent players of Nuclear Winter. So, general bug fixes. Bug fix list's a little bit shorter this time than usual. Still not going to go through absolutely everything because it's still long enough. But there's a few salient points that I do want to pick out. So let's have a little bit of a gander at what we've got here. A couple of art and graphics fixes. Pip-Boy light should no longer flicker when being turned on and off. Visual effects for the invader weapon. I think that's a weapon anyway. No longer appear black when previewing the weapon at workbenches, and fix the hole in the neck portion of the makeshift Ronin helmet. Not sure what a makeshift Ronin helmet is, but okay. No longer has a hole in it when you're looking at it. That's always a bonus. Camp crafting and workshops. This is interesting. Artillery piece. Smoke grenades can now be looted correctly from the container attached to the artillery piece, for those of you using that. Lights. The light bulb letter set has been moved to the lights section of the build menu. Doesn't sound like the functioning of it's been changed any, but it should now be in a more logically consistent sort of area on the menu, which is fine. Ranger armor outfits no longer appear craftable in workbenches if the owner lacks the materials to craft them, so a little bit of confusion removed. Toxic soot flowers, if I get those words out. And frog legs can now be correctly assigned to refrigerators. Cool. And several warning signs that were previously counting towards the maximum light budget are now adjusted so that they don't do that. And basically, certain signs do act as lights and therefore count towards your lighting budget, which is separate, kind of, from your main budget. But certain signs that shouldn't be counting towards it were, now they're fixed. So, interesting bug on combat here, stagger locks. Added mitigation for an issue in which ranged enemies could repeatedly cripple a player's limbs, causing multiple stagger animations to play back to back. I'm assuming this means crippling the same limb over and over. While this issue is now much less likely to occur, it's still possible that you may encounter it. We're investigating a more complete fix for a future update. So, hopefully those who have been having issues with this, which to be fair isn't me, but will experience it less often, and they're still working on fixing it permanently. I'm guessing the simple implication of this being there's more going on than meets the eye, and it's a more complicated thing to fix than it might appear on the surface of it. So, they're working on it. They've managed to reduce the frequency, but still working on an outright fix. I'm glad that they put in at least a temporary fix though, like improving things is better than not doing anything at all because they're not entirely there if they've got the option available. I mean, a perfect fix would be ideal, but it's a step in the right direction until they've got that sort of thing, which is fine. I approve of that. So, here's a big one that they've tried to fix before, but haven't had a great deal of success. Hopefully they'll have a bit more luck this time. Enemy corpses no longer sometimes disappear shortly after death. They should disappear eventually, but they shouldn't be disappearing quite so quickly anymore. As I say, they've tried to fix this before with limited success, so fingers crossed they'll hit the nail on the head this time and that one will work. A couple of exploit fixes. Multiple fixes to address exploits that could have been abused to create an unfair advantage. Good, everybody likes to see that sort of thing getting patched out. And address an exploit related to the purveyor. Yes, definitely not fair on those of us who don't use such exploits. So good to see those fixed. A couple of item fixes that are quite fun. Jetpacks no longer activate immediately when performing a normal jump. I actually quite like this fix as well. To activate a jetpack, players must release the jump button and then press it again. So just a little change so that you're not activating the jetpack every time you jump. But it's also kind of cool because it means you can take like a long run and then a jump, say off a cliff, sail through the air, then activate the jetpack later and take off. Which is, if nothing else, just a bit more cool. So it not only solves the issue, but does it in a fun way, in a way that's really quite entertaining and cool, and just gives it a little bit more of a buzz to activating the jetpack, assuming it works the way it sounds like it does, which I think it will. So I like that. I think that's a fun way to fix the issue, which, yeah, more power to them on that. More of that, please. That's cool. So, legendary weapon fix. Reloading a weapon that has 250 damage resistance bonus when reloading no longer negates the effects of the primary legendary attribute, whatever that may be. So I'm not sure if that's a permanent negation of the effect or just while you're reloading, but either way, the damage resistance when reloading effect no longer interferes with other effects, which is cool. Loot bag skins now remain equipped when returning to adventure mode after nuclear winter matches. Glasses can now be worn while wearing a turkey mascot head. And the targeting HUD. Fix an issue that could prevent players from crafting an XO1 targeting HUD for their power armor. Okay, a few little fixes. Some of them very welcome, some fun, some just little issues. Nice to see them gone. Performance and stability. Always happy to see these changes. Multiple improvements for server performance. Great. More of those. Anytime we get those is always a good thing. Multiple issues that could cause server crashes fixed. Fix a server crash relating to player vending machines. And fix an issue that could cause the game to crash on Xbox One. All good, all welcome. Simple, fairly nondescript, but, you know, increased server stability. Everybody wants to see that. In general, if we look back to compare it with the way the game was this time last year, for example, it's chalk and cheese in the difference, really, which is great, but always room for improvement, so. To be fair to Bethesda, at this point, it's worth saying that just about every online game is always working on service performance and service stability. Like, I don't think any of the online games, be them Battle Royales or MMOs I've seen, have ever stopped trying to improve that. So this is in no way unique to Fallout, but, you know, keep working on it. Always good to see. Continual improvements and all that. Few quest fixes. Fix an issue that could prevent players from progressing past the Speak with Modus objective in Officer on Deck. Not one I've seen, but definitely needs fixing, because it's literally game-breaking, that, so. Kind of surprised it's taken so long, but still, it's here now. I'm guessing it was a rare issue, to be honest, but there we go. Or maybe one that cropped up more recently. Now, a couple of UI fixes as well. One for the main menu on Xbox. Switching user accounts after reaching the main menu no longer causes error messages. With the scrap box, for those of you with Fallout first, fix an issue that could cause the yellow selection bar to appear twice. Couple of bug fixes for Nuclear Winter as well. Can't build scavenger collectron stations in Nuclear Winter anymore. Addressed an exploit that could allow players to remain in stealth longer than intended. Good, that's basically cheating. One less way of doing that is always welcome for everybody who plays it, I'm sure. Updated the description text for the unarmed bobblehead, so it's now correct. And a couple of user interface tweaks. Player names correctly displayed, even if you've got show other player names turned off. Presumably that's because player names should always be appearing in Nuclear Winter, even if you don't want them in Adventure Mode. Spectator Mode, the text for it has been updated to finding spectator target rather than just changing. Not quite sure why, but okay. Corrected some subtitles that don't match voiceovers for holotapes found in Vault 51, and corrected a typo for one of Zax's voice lines. So, relatively short list. Some cool things, some not particularly interesting things, and a couple of fun bug fixes as well, which is always welcome. So, yeah, some fun holiday stuff, starting initially on Thursday, and then some of it running through to Boxing Day, and the rest in Nuclear Winter running through till January 6th. Some hopefully fun new outfits, a few cool new bits and pieces going into camps, stuff like that. Should help get everybody into the holiday cheer. So, as most of this goes live Thursday onwards, I will probably jump in and have a look at it from then. Probably Thursday night. But for now, yeah, nice to see some fun stuff and a couple of good fixes coming for the holiday period. I would imagine we'll be looking mid-January towards patch 17. I'd imagine the staff at Bethesda want to slow things down a bit over Christmas, take a bit of a break. Seems fair enough to me. So they'll pick things up then. Hopefully, on the other side of Christmas, we'll start hearing some cool stuff about Wastelanders as well. Because they're missing a trick if they don't build a bit of hype on this, if it's half as expansive as they seem to think it is. And it would certainly imply that it is, given that they've had to delay it, so. Looking forward to that. Obviously, not much in the way of new content. Weren't really expecting new content either, but Wastelanders will be the big thing there. I'm just really hoping that the current trend that I'm seeing at the moment is that that everything releasing in Q1 next year is just kind of coming out in April. That's Q2, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. Never mind that then. But they are still coming out quite close together nonetheless. So I'm hoping Wastelanders will be a little bit sooner so that it doesn't overlap with other games launching. It'll be better for Wastelanders and it'll be better for gamers in general and me personally. So that we can have a bit more time to engage with more things if there's a more staggered release. On the other hand, there's only so much expecting of developers to release around each other that we can be doing, really. So, just what it is. But all in all, a fun patch. Not a massive one, but yeah, just good fun stuff. So, do hope you guys found that useful and informative. If you did, please do hit those buttons for me, so it's very, very much appreciated. Social media links down below as well if you want to catch up with me on Twitter, Instagram or Facebook. And do keep an eye out for the live streams. We're going to be pushing on with the Outer Worlds fairly soon and taking a look at some of the new stuff in Fallout as well. So that should be very, very cool. I do hope you'll join us for that. It's a good time to be had, bit of fun to hang out with. And if you're really enjoying the content, then please do consider becoming a channel member as well. You can have a look at the blue join button just under the video, and there's some more details down in the description as well. Should be giving that hopefully an overhaul in the new year, so we'll be freshening things up a little bit. So do hope you guys will check that one out. For now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.